Okay, so today I want to talk about one of my pet peeves, which is turning books into movies and doing it pretty crappily. Some that I liked were actually Lord of the Rings and The Chronicles of Narnia. I think they did a really good job with those. I also like The Count of Monte Cristo, which I'll talk about later. Um, One that I hated was Harry Potter. I thought that they could have done so much better with that, and they took so much out of the movies that they didn't need to take out and left a lot in that they could have taken out. So I think if you gotta cut a movie for time limit, do it right and leave in the pivotal plot points. And I'm not going to say anything more because I don't want to bring it for people who haven't read the book. And if you haven't read the book, I say read the book because it's an amazing, amazing book. Books. There's 7 of them. Um, just amazing writing. I really, really look up to J.K. Rowling. She is an amazing author. Um, I also I I hated Ella Enchanted, and I don't know if a lot of you have heard that. Um, it's a book by Kale Carson Levine, and the movie has Hugh Dancy and Anne Hathaway, and it was mostly a kids movie. And the book was a kids book, yeah, but the movie just took the premise of the book and it ran with it. Did not have anything to do with the book at all. It The book was this girl gets a spell cast on her when she's an infant that makes her obedient. And if she doesn't obey an order, then she starts getting nauseous or headaches, and she ends up having to obey. And it's a Cinderella story, basically. And really, really well written and great twist on Cinderella. I like that. Loved the book since I was in the 4th grade when I read it. So many times I was able to recite the first chapter verbatim. Um, and, well, the movie took Obedient Girl and wrote another storyline right around it. They added characters, they added plot lines, they added everything and changed everything to where it was just Obedient Girl. They even made it to where she automatically had to be obedient and didn't even wasn't even able to resist it. Like she was like poof and she was doing what she was told, which makes for great comic relief, but it was not the book. So anyway, that is a book made movie that I am very passionate about hating anyway. I think that the movie itself was good if it had been away from the book. If they had made that movie and not claimed Ella Enchanted as the title, I would have loved it. It would have been a very cute kids movie. But because they ruined my favorite book, I was pretty pissed. Um, I think you all feel the same way about your favorite books. At least I would think so. Okay, so another one that I can't really think of any others that I hated per se. I like Twilight. And yes, I am a Twilight fan, and I'm Team Edward. Well, actually, I don't know, because the more I think about it, the more I start to think that Edward is kind of psychotic. Um, he stalks her in her bedroom and takes the engine out of her car, and I think that's a bit going overboard, even if he is trying to protect her from other night creatures. And I'm ruining it, so I'm going to stop right there. Um, Watch and read the other movies and books. If you haven't read Twilight already, read it. Read New Moon, read Eclipse, read Breaking, excuse me, Breaking Dawn. And by the way, whoever leaked Midnight Sun, I'm fairly pissed because I really wanted to read that and I'd love to have it in like a hardcover book. And maybe Stephanie Meyer needs to get over it and write it. But I mean, why would you do that? Anyway, not a rant on that person, but you totally ruined it for the rest of us. Um, Anyway, so Twilight was good. I liked the movie. Not as much as the book, obviously. I don't think you're ever gonna like a book as much as like a movie as much as a book, but it was pretty well done. Um, I like the Count of Monte Cristo. Like I said, I get back to that. The Count of Monte Cristo, I thought, was one of those where it's away from the book, but it was an amazing movie. The book itself is amazing, but kind of drawn out. And I love Alexander Dumas. He's a great writer too, and great, great, great. Anyway, so the book itself was amazing, but drawn out again. And the movie was so much more entertaining to me than the book was, and had a lot more happiness than the book did. But anyway, so um, yeah, great. Read the book, watch the movie. They're both good. They're both wonderful. I love them. Um, I was just thinking of one. Oh, Pride and Prejudice. There are two versions that I've seen three versions actually. I've seen the one that was made like in the 50s or 20s or something. I don't know. I hated it with a passion. Changed everything, changed the time, but I mean it was made a long time ago, so I guess I can give it that. But I mean it was like they changed it from the 1700s to the 1800s, and then if any of y'all have read the book or seen the movies, the BBC version or the Keira Knightley, Joe Wright directed version, um, the aunt, uh, well, I can't remember her name, but she was in the Keira Knightley version. She was played by Judi Dench, if you know who I'm talking about. Um, in the 19, 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever, I don't know what decade it was in that version, she helped Elizabeth get Darcy, which made no sense with the book at all, and completely changed everything. It was basically like a Meet Me in St. Louis meets Pride and Prejudice. That's the feel I got from it. And I love Meet Me in St. Louis. Judy Garland is amazing, and I can go on about other stuff like that. Anyway, but I'm getting off base and going off on a tangent, which I will warn you I tend to do a lot. Um, so yeah, loved Karen. I can't talk. Loved the Karen Knightley version because I saw it first. I agree with the people who want to strangle me because I do like that version. That if I'd seen the BBC version first, I would hate the Keira Knightley version. I watched the Keira Knightley, the 2005 Joe Wright directed movie. I watched that before I read the book. I watched it before I saw the BBC version with Colin Firth, which is amazing. Um, so I like them all. I love the book. One of my favorite books. And I love Sense and Sensibility. I'm a big Jane Austen fan anyway. And the movie Sense and Sensibility was great as well. And so yeah, I guess I'm done. I'm gonna stop here because I could go on and on and on, but you don't want to listen for that much. So I'm gonna leave you and say that you're welcome to post video responses and comments and talk about your own favorite books that have been turned into movies and whether you like them or didn't like them or what even contradict me on mine. Go ahead. And I can't wait to see your responses. And I'd really like to go now. Okay.